Hello, 3 designers. I'm Josh with St. John, 3 Design NYC on the forum, and this is the video demonstration series. One quick piece of housekeeping: YouTube has shortened the video length to 15 minutes. Caused some problems for me as I have to go back and re-edit, but I just want you to know that longer videos will be broken up into multiple parts, part 1, part 2, and sometimes even part 3. So watch them in order. Aside from that, I'm really excited about this demonstration. We're going to do some 3-rail sweeping, we're going to use the 3-shaper, and we're going to make the sculpted knot ring. So let's hop right into the program and get started. Okay, so now I'm in the 3Design workspace, and the first thing I'm going to do is save as Sculpted Knot Ring to my desktop. Perfect. Next up, I'm going to use the Image on Plane tool on the top view plane and import knot.jpg, which I downloaded off the forum. Perfect. So I'm going to pull that up off the Z, say by 5 millimeters. I'm going to change the size, turning off keep ratio to 20 by 18. And I'm going to rotate the image by 90 degrees. Negative 90 and 90 are the same in this case because it's symmetrical. And I'm going to increase the transparency, and that'll help me later when I'm using the 3-shaper. Validate there. Okay. Next up, I'm going to put a sketch on that same top view plane. It's already selected. Sketch goes on. I'm going to turn make sure my grid snaps are on. They are. And I'm going to use the line tool to measure one side of this design. 4.24. I don't even need to draw the line. That's fine. I'm going to draw this out to 4.5 by 4.5. This is 5 by 5. Pretty close. Just make it smaller. Great. I need to rotate that by 45 degrees, like so. And let's see, I'll line it up to this one. And if you notice, this pattern is actually 3 squares mirrored 4 ways. So I'm going to copy this square, keeping the original and making one more copy, so I have 3. And I'll just place this one there. And this one will go there. That's fine. Next, I'm going to offset these squares, reverse direction to the inside 1.5 millimeter, and repeat. Great. Now I think I'm gonna need one more of these later, so I'm gonna pull that off to the side and keep the original. And I'm gonna draw in a few cut curves. Cut curves are curves that I use as like scissors for cutting with the trim tool. So now I can just go along here and get rid of everything that I don't need, because like I said, it's a 4-way mirror, so I'm just gonna go in and mirror it. Let's see. Just keep cleaning this up. The pattern will become more apparent as I continue on. I think the first time that you see this, it could be a bit confusing, but once you see where I'm going, it'll all make perfect sense. Right there. That looks good. Now, if you notice, those 3 squares came together. I have the smaller square here, here, and here, and here. And when these 3 bigger squares came together, it made one more small square. So I'm going to take this. It was slightly smaller than I want it to be, so I'm going to take that and replace it. Go like so. Nice. Get rid of that one too, that one. Here we go. Getting pretty close. Still want that one. Okay, that's it. Now when I auto connect, you're going to see I'm going to have a spline and a rectangle. Perfect. I'm going to leave the sketch, and I'm going to take my spline and rectangle, and I'm going to extrude them. The default is 1 millimeter. That's fine. I'll just validate there. Now I'm going to save. I'm going to hide my axes and planes, and I'm going to hide my sketch, select my extrusion, hit modeling, and enter the 3-shaper. Now if you notice, the extrusion comes in with no tops. That's expected. Extrusions do that in the 3-shaper. We'll just validate there, and we'll hit this tool selection, which brings us to the subdivision tools. Change it to edge mode. Now I'm aware that you may not understand what all the different modes are, but this is edge mode, and I can see these red edges. When I click here, I'm in edge mode, and now I can select the edges. I think if we just take a few more steps forward, you'll see where we're going, and then it'll make a little more bit more sense once you have some practical experience what these different modes and tools do. So I'm going to select this edge and use this tool called Bridge Faces or Edges, and start to create a cap. Now I'm going to click 3 edges, 1, 2, 3. Instead of using Bridge, I'm going to use Connect Faces, and I get that face. I just continue this along the entire top of the extrusion, replacing the cap. And be aware of the different colored edges that are coming on. We have yellows, reds, and greens now. Those all are different types of edges that you can use to create different looks in your subdivision models. And perfect. Okay, so we have some red edges and some yellow edges. Let's select all the edges, and we can turn them all yellow except for the bottoms are open, they're green. Green edges are open edges. Yellow edges are soft edges, and red edges are hard edges. So right now I'm in polygonal view. Everything looks like it has a hard edge. If I switch to actual view, you see it has a hard edge. If I select all the edges and I use this tool, Create Sharp Edge, boom, softens them. But if I switch back to polygonal mode, it comes back to this. You'll understand a little bit more about polygonal mode in a second. So I'm going to switch to face mode, and I'm going to select some faces. I'm going to remove those and leave my subdivision tools. Now you'll notice as soon as you leave subdivision tools, it automatically turns to actual view and it gives it back the metal texture. I'm going to mirror this a couple times. You don't have to turn your axes and planes on. Usually it just is pretty smart and mirrors it the way that you want it to. If you notice, it doesn't match up perfectly, but if I hit it to weld, up it to fine, and validate, now it matches perfectly. I'll turn on my axes and planes so you can see the other way to mirror. Let's mirror it up and down, like so, and then weld, fine, validate, and then I'll hide again, and you'll see it'll probably just mirror it in the right direction. Weld again, and fine. Great, now we have a solid. I'm going to enter back into my subdivision tools, and you'll see that all my edges are yellow soft edges, and if I use the little eyeball, it turns gray, and if I check intersections, it turns blue. Go back into polygonal mode, and let's look at this graphic. If I start here and I follow it like a track, I go underneath, over, underneath, around the corner, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. You get the idea. Now how do I do that? right here is right here, so it has to go under. Let's see. I'll try to remove some faces. Get rid of those. Huh. Now, I need a face to go diagonally down here, across, and back up, and then a flat face there. The best way I've found to do that is in edge mode. Take this edge and that edge, delete edges, and then use this tool. Split edges, probably the most important tool in subdivision, because it allows me to add more surfaces or more faces. So when I click on that vertex, it turns red, across red, across red, and now I have a surface, a surface, a triangle surface, and a triangle surface. I'm still solid. So let's watch that one more time. Edge mode, get rid of the edges. There's still a face here. It's just a mess. If we turn it to actual mode, you see it just has problems. Take those scissors, cut, cut. Where is it? Oh, there's the red dot. Cut and cut. And I just need to repeat this around the entire perimeter. Get all those, then scissor. Just repeat the pattern. If you see any edges missing along the way, add them in. At the end, we want all of our subdivision surfaces to be completely symmetrical. And if we miss something, we want to make sure we add it in everywhere. So if you miss it on one side, chances are it's going to be on at least one other side, because we did the mirrors, of course. And up, and up. All right, so this is my last one, and then I'm going to wrap up this first part. YouTube has limited our times to 15 minutes, so this is going to be the end of part 1. Continue on with part 2.